Welcome back, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. This is another episode of the CineMatch podcast. What, do you like the new intro?
I wasn't expecting it, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I'm on a new computer. I've got frames for some of my posters. I haven't put them up yet, but I've got frames for some of my posters. I'm in a good mood. I thought I'd try switch it up a bit. I've got a lamp here, so it's brighter. It's all fresh this week. So yeah, new intro there. This is the CineMatch podcast, the show where we take different movies every episode and debate/rate them. My name is Cal Altimus, and I am one of your hosts. And joining me, as he does every episode, is Mr. Nathan Sackle Hanna. How are you, sir?
Just did a massive yawn as you was introducing me.
Yeah, I'll put some right energy into it as well.
It is me, just knackered. No, I'm good. I'm knackered. I pulled me back again yesterday, so I've just been like bedridden as much as possible. So every time I move, it's like utter pain. So I'm just trying to stay perfectly still.
How did you manage that?
I was on the toilet and I turned around to reach the toilet paper and I just felt a massive.
You know, you could say you're getting old. Even the slightest movements are doing you in.
And I really wish it was something cool.
Yeah.
Not.
I mean, it could have been much worse sitting on the toilet. Like, it could have been like the world's fucking toughest shit.
I know, if I was pushing one out and it just fucking, my back just fully went. If that was the one that made my back completely useless and I would never be able to walk again, I would never tell anybody that story.
I'd tell him. I think I'd take pride in it. That's a hell of a fucking story. That's like just one-off Elvis dying on the toilet.
Yeah,
just one step away.
Losing the ability to walk. It's about the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. This week, we're going to talk about movies from 2023 because we didn't do that enough in the last episode, apparently, when we named our top 10s. We're going to bring another Category Carnage back. The last one we did was the Christmas one, wasn't it? Several weeks ago now, maybe over a month ago. I can't actually remember. But we're doing a Category Carnage with movies from the year 2023. It's just gone. We all remember it. So with the movies fresh and red, I think we've already said this on the last episode. It was a really good fucking year full of movies. Like, it was stacked. So we've got a lot to choose from. Before we get started, I'll run through the categories that we decided, just like let people know what we're going to be picking. The rules are simple, as we have explained before. We've got 10 categories. We can only pick one movie. No, so we have to pick movies for each category, and we can only use each movie once. So if I take one movie for a certain category, neither of us can use it again, and it's whoever ends up with the best slate at the end, which we never actually let people decide. It's not about winning, it's about taking part.
Yeah, and the anger that comes from you picking something that I wanted to say.
Yeah, the entertainment that comes from just seeing the life leave our eyes when I pick those. But yeah, so like I said, this week, Category Carnage, 2023 movies, and the categories we're going with is the best main character, the best supporting character, the best villain, the best overall cast, the best action scene, the best song, the best visual effects, the best fist pump moment, the most heartbreaking moment. I don't think there's any best heartbreak. And the most rewatchable movie of the year. Full disclosure, came up on my list about 3 minutes ago, so I've not really got many alternatives. Huh?
I came up around about 10 minutes ago. We're fine.
Yeah, I've not got any alternatives in case any of my favourites go here, so I'm going to be fucked almost immediately. Because you got the first pick, as we decided off camera with the whole guess which hand the pen lid's in, proper professional stuff. So
pretty sure that's how they do it in the UFC.
Yeah, I imagine so. So yeah, without beating around the bush then, we might as well just get straight into it. So with your first pick, which category are you going with and which movie?
I'm taking a big one off the board. So I'm getting there before you can. So I'm going to go best song. And I'm going to go I'm Just Ken from the Barbie movie. Taking Barbie off the board straight away.
Yeah, Barbie gone immediately. Do you know what's actually mad? I had that in a completely different category, so that one's fucked already. But
I'm Just Ken. The Barbie soundtrack's full of absolute bangers anyway. Like, absolutely every song in that soundtrack's perfect. But the one that came out of it was I'm Just Ken. We can all play it. Us men can play it and feel like our emotions are valid coming from this Barbie movie. So nothing, no other song, maybe one, but I'm not going to say it just in case it moves you on to say it. No other song this year really hit those heights And
That's interesting because I think I might have the other song. So my pick for best song is Dog Days Are Over in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Why would you pick that here, you son of a bitch?
Because I didn't want to pick it anywhere else. And I think that's a quality way to end that trilogy. Like, that song really got like thrust back into the zeitgeist when that movie came out, and everyone started reappreciating how good it is. I mean, it's always been a good song. Florence and the Machine are a great band, and that song, it fit those closing moments perfectly for that film. Like the montage, seeing everyone get their own endings. It was the perfect way to end the Guardians trilogy under James Gunn. Like, we don't know what they're going to do with the characters in future, but it was a perfect way to end that story, and it was the best song to do it. And like you said, "I'm Just Ken" is probably the most iconic, especially original song to come out this year. But also,
I didn't expect a full-on dance number in the middle of the Barbie movie. Not well, I did, but just not from the Kens.
Yeah. So yeah, I think aside from that, I do think the only other song that everyone really, really took to was "Dog Days Are Over" at the end of Guardians, and that people still talk about that now and how like that song will be forever linked with that moment now. So that was my choice from number one because I had Barbie in a different category. I thought this one might be a sneaky one. I didn't know if you'd think of it, so that's why I had it down.
Okay, well, I feel fucked for some other categories now then. So I was going to go with Rocket's Friends Dying for most heartbreaking. Literally the only one I could think of. I'm sure there's another, but fuck. I hate you already.
I'm going to go most heartbreaking now then.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Why you put me on the spot like this?
Because you fucking said it. That was your mistake. I remember it's movies that came out in the UK in 2023, right? So I'm going with The Whale.
I forgot about that.
The moment where Brendan Fraser's character breaks down and he's crying, talking about how he just wants his daughter to be to be proud of him and stuff. That moment was in the trailer, and just watching the trailer made me cry. So there's no way that wasn't the most heartbreaking moment of the year for me. The film itself was heartbreaking in general, and I think like Brendan Fraser's own comeback story really added to it. And it's weird because obviously he went through so much like off screen, like in his personal life. So it felt like a redemption story for him, but it was also sad for the character. And you put it together, and I was a fucking wreck watching that movie. And the moment where he breaks down, like I said, the trailer, and I was fighting fucking for my life just watching the trailer. So yeah, there's been some sad moments in films throughout the year, but that is the number one for me.
Yeah, that is good, and it is heartbreaking. And I'm going to go I did think of one while you were talking. I'm going to go a completely different tact to how you've got it, and I'm going to go with The Flash.
That was an emotional movie. You're not wrong.
And the most heartbreaking moment being seeing all like Christopher Reeves and Helen Slater and fucking Nicolas Cage and George Reeves and all them just soulless CGI. I know we try to keep this as positive as we can, but it is fucking heartbreaking to watch these people that are dead, like Adam West as well. Like people that is Adam West dead? He died, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, like all these people that die that really can't defend themselves, other than Nicolas Cage, obviously, and just soullessly put together through AI and CG to have like a big like moment in a superhero movie that just A, didn't pay off, B, looks shit, and C, just massively disrespectful. Like there was an interview with Nicolas Cage where he was like, I did film some stuff for The Flash and it wasn't CGI, and I did these things that were dead exciting, and then when he saw the movie, it was just none of that was him. They just scanned his body and used him completely. So it's just a bit, so a completely different tact and some tactical thinking there, but just heartbreaking that is probably like the last we'll ever see of Christopher Reeves as Superman in a film or anything like that. It wasn't a fist pump moment. It was just fucking depressing.
Yeah, it was like the worst possible version of the multiverse cameo shite that we've seen over and over in the last couple of years. Like, and I've said before that I didn't mind The Flash. I thought it was all right. I quite enjoyed it, but that shit, even for me, doesn't land. Because Christopher Reeves, I've said this before, his Superman meant so much to me. So see it, I don't like that. That's like they've brought it back just for those last moments. Like people like have been dead for decades. It's like what's the aim here? Henry Cavill exists. Put him in it.
Yeah, I mean I was about to say, in a film where you bring back Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, what's his name, Jason Momoa, and Ezra Miller, but not like use shitty CG to show Henry Cavill, rather than just bring him back and let him have an actual cameo. It's just told everything on. I mean, I hated The Flash. It's literally the worst film of the year for me. But like that is genuinely like a heartbreaking thing to see, like how fucking disrespectfully they treated all these people.
Yeah, it's a weird choice to use those Supermen that have passed as well. When you think Tom Welling from Smallville is still around.
I mean, if you don't want to use Dean Cain, but
no, but what's the guy Tyler Hoechlin who plays him in Superman and Lois is still around? You could have used other versions. Brandon Routh, for Christ's sake. Use him.
I mean, Brandon Routh. They had. I mean, even with the Flash, they used a completely AI created Flash from like in the black and white world, and they could have just used like they could have had Grant Gustin there because you know Ezra Miller turned up on the TV show. Why not have Grant Gustin in the film? It's just I don't know. It just reeks of shittiness.
Well, that's my visual effects pick done. No, I'm happy with it. I am actually, as you can imagine, Flash didn't make a single one of me things, so that's something that I wasn't really too bothered about you taking off the board.
Well, I was going to use it for villain as well, but I suppose I'll just, the villain being the movie in general, it was a villain to me.
Right, then what are you going with next then?
3 categories in already, we're fucking blasting through. I feel like I need to get some big ones away from you. So I'm going to go with best overall cast. And since Barbie's not on the board anymore, I've got to take Oppenheimer.
Oh, shit. That's a good one.
We said it in our Barbie and Oppenheimer episode, and we said it in the 2023 episode. Like every single member of cast who had a role to play in that movie, not only did they deliver, but even like Rami Malek, who was in it for all of like 1 minute, 2 minute, one scene, like he really made that. And it wasn't like that's that guy, I mean, we were doing that, but like they weren't playing into that. They were just having massive named actors coming in for this 30-second, 1 minute, 5 minute role, and then having no impact having a massive impact on the story, a massive impact on the screen, but it was never about who the actors were. It was the performances given. Like, I mean, like we said in the Barbenheimer episode, like Rami Malek's an Oscar-winning actor. It's a huge name, obviously, with Freddie Mercury, and he's in it for a very, very small amount. And again, it's really, really impactful. Everybody in that cast, from Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Josh Hartnett, I make sure to say him for you. Literally, everybody in that cast had a role to play and did it really. Probably like even in small amounts, had some like career best performances. So absolutely, yeah, I went with that. If it was either that or go Robert Downey in support, but I think overall cast is definitely where Oppenheimer sits.
Yeah, that's a very, very good pick. I didn't have Oppenheimer in cast. That's why I had Barbie. So he took that. I actually was going to use Oppenheimer as the main character. I was going to use Cillian Murphy as Oppenheimer's main. But it's one of the fucking most stacked casts in recent years. Like I said, everyone from top to bottom just kills it. It is a very, very, very good cast. Fuck. I'm switching up now. I'm going to go.
I've already used the Flash, so.
Maybe you haven't used Shazam too.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to go Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, yeah, good one.
Because originally I had Robert De Niro was my idea for supporting. But this cast is incredible. Like, you've got Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Lily Gladstone, Brendan Fraser, Jesse Plemons, and they're all so good. Even like Brendan Fraser's only in it for like very limited, but even when he comes in, he just like acts his fucking ass off for like 2 minutes. It's some of the greatest actors of all time in De Niro and DiCaprio. It's Lily Gladstone giving a performance that I don't think anyone saw coming, and it's like thrust her into this like superstardom, and she's obviously now a front runner for the Oscars and stuff. And it's exciting to see what will happen for her now, because she's obviously in it's like the actual what's the representation, because she is actually like an indigenous person, and all of the accolades and the respect and admiration being shown, it's such a big deal for her. I love Brendan Fraser. Like I said, I've already got The Whale. He can show up in any movie and I'll enjoy it. And I think Jesse Plemons is quietly one of the more underrated actors in recent years. Like this morning, I was watching The Irishman for only the second time, and he shows up in that as Al Pacino's son, and he doesn't have much to do, but when he's in the scenes and stuff, and he has his line, he fucking kills it, and he makes me laugh so much. I don't know how he's got Kirsten Dunst, but that's a different story.
Well, you know my feelings on Kirsten Dunst, so I don't really think that's I don't really think that's a huge achievement on his part. If anything, I feel like he probably should be like thanked for taking the bullet.
But yeah, Robert De Niro, who's like 80 now, just churning out a performance as good as he does in that is incredible. Like, it's a testament to just how legendary actor he is. And Leo gives a performance unlike anything we've seen from him. It's a completely different character to anything we've ever seen, but he still fucking kills it. And seeing the two on the big screen together at this age, working under Scorsese, is one of the fucking joys of 2023 for me. I was so excited and it lived up to it. So the cast, top to bottom, beautiful.
But is the cast better than Oppenheimer's?
Well, only one of them's got Bobby D, so that's my fucking, apart from Pacino, that's my goal.
Well, if you say Bobby D, then surely Robert Downey would.
Yeah, you could actually say that. Yeah, so I didn't think of that.
Well, let's move on then to yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go main then. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go supporting.
No, you said main.
I mean, I don't think you'll take either of these, so it's fine. I've got in either category.
Fair play.
I'm going to go supporting because Robert De Niro's gone, and that was my original pick. I'm now going to go with the love of my life, and that is Rachel McAdams in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, as the mum, Barbara Simon. Fucking unbelievable. I am so infatuated with that woman. I think she's incredible. And I don't know because I've not read it, but I've heard in the book, the mum, the role isn't as fleshed out and isn't given as much to do. And they changed that for the film with Rachel McAdams. And it's a genius move because she fucking acts her ass off. And she's a lot like, it could be very silly if the entire movie was about this young girl adapting to this new surroundings and becoming friends with these new people. But the mum's storylines and how she also struggles to fit in while she's staying at home and integrating herself into the community, it adds so much weight to it. And because it's Rachel McAdams, I eat that shit up every fucking time. Like, I can't stress how attracted I am to that woman. It's worrying at this point. So I knew that one was safe. I knew you'd never take that. So that was one of the only categories I had a backup was.
Can you imagine if I did?
And then try to explain why it was good, despite the fact we've never seen the film.
I just do exactly what you did. Barely talk about the film and talk about your love for Rachel McAdams instead.
That woman fucking, she holds some of my, even in Eurovision, I'm all about it. She's special. But yeah, that's one of the only categories I've got where I had a backup. So thankfully, Barbara Simon, played by Rachel McAdams in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Fantastic performance, fantastic woman.
Well, very similar reasons. Although I did this joke last time. My best support is a film with Florence Pugh, but she isn't. She's the lead, and I'm going a good person with. I've literally just had his name, and it's literally the most famous name, Morgan Freeman. How did I forget Morgan Freeman's name?
Fucking Morgan Freeman, this unknown actor, Morgan Freeman.
He's just small. He's upcoming. I don't know if you've seen A Good Person. It was a streaming.
I haven't actually, and I should because it's directed by Zach Braff.
It is directed by Zach Braff. It's really, really good. It's about addiction. Florence Pugh goes through some stuff and gets addicted, and she has to try and repent for this stuff that she's done. And the stuff that she's done involves a family member of Morgan. I don't want to say too much, so you can, because you need, obviously you're going to watch it. But Morgan Freeman plays throughout the film a sadness, like a positivity, a lot of anger, a lot of regret. It's one of his more serious roles. It is very melodramatic, but it is like really, really impactful. And the fact that he has this relationship with Florence Pugh that I'm definitely not jealous of. But it's almost like a fatherly relationship, but with a hint of anger there as well. I don't want to say too much, but it's just really, really well played, and they work really, really well together. And it's Morgan Freeman. You can't go wrong with him, really. When he pulls on the heartstrings, he knows how to pull on the heartstrings, and he definitely does it in this film. And I don't think a lot of people have watched it, so one that you should definitely give a chance.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch it. It's on Sky now,
Yeah.
Sky Movies, so it's something I can watch. Just because I heard a lot about it beforehand with Zach Braff directing it, obviously, JD from Scrubs, and he's had a couple of good movies already. Yeah. And Florence Pugh is always great. So yeah, it is something I am wanting to check out, but I haven't yet, so it wasn't on my list anyway, so that's good news.
She makes a singing debut in that movie as well.
What, Florence Pugh?
Yeah.
Can she sing then, yeah, or was it terrible?
No, she's perfect. There's nothing wrong she can do. She's even in Don't Worry Darling, and I still liked her in that.
Yeah. Her and Chris Pine fucking carried that. He was class.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, what's next?
Me. Oh, see, I know there's things you can take if I do other ones, but I'm going to do it now. So I'm going to go with lead, which I only had one down because I knew all the others would be taken straight away. So I'm going with Shamik Moore from Spider-Verse, who voices Miles Morales. I think the first film he has so much to do, and it's a great introduction to Miles. But I think the second one, he really, really had to up his game. Miles goes through so much shit in this film, so many different kind of emotions, a lot of anger as well, that just really, really works. And for me, when I read the comics and whatever, I can't help but hear his voice when I'm reading Miles, and when I think Miles, I hear that voice. And this Spider-Verse movie definitely solidified it for me. Plus, it's funny. I mean, it's a bit weird in interviews. Outside of it, it's a bit creepy on Haley Steinfeld, but in the movies, it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Shamik Moore, because I couldn't go Margot Robbie or Cillian Murphy because we'd already taken him off the board.
Yeah, we've got rid of some big names. That's a good pick, though. I wouldn't have thought of that, but yeah, he's fantastic with Miles, and I think that is the Miles Morales that's introducing an entire generation to the character, and is, like you said, it's one that a lot of people will associate with the role now.
Also, the second reason I didn't want to do best animated movie, when
you
were suggesting topics and you was like best animated movie, I was like, nope, because there's two options in my mind and I'm using them for somewhere else.
Yeah, you fucking did me dirty there.
Have you watched Ninja Turtles yet?
No.
Come on, man. Stop
watching. No, I haven't. I've been quite slow in my movies this year.
You know what? I watched 14 movies last January, and the entirety of January, I'm already on 10.
Yeah, you've watched more than me. I don't know how many times we'll be able to say that this year, but you've watched more films than me right now.
I'm going to try and keep ahead of the game.
I've watched 6, I think.
I've committed to watching every Godzilla movie, and that's 38. So,
Christ.
Yeah.
Completely off topic. I want to watch I want to complete some directors or actors' filmographies. I want to watch everything. I want to watch every Martin Scorsese movie or every Tom Cruise movie. Do you see he's doing movies with Warner Brothers?
Yeah. But still allowed to do movies elsewhere. He's like the fucking jammiest bastard, isn't he?
Motherfucker just runs Hollywood. I love it.
You should do every Warwick Davis movie.
Fuck that. I've already seen 85 of them without knowing. He plays cactus in background, just Warwick Davis in a costume for some reason. He's everywhere. Don't think he's been number 1 though, of all time.
He probably is mine.
Mine is Samuel L. Jackson. Fuck knows why.
Samuel L. Jackson is in fucking loads of stuff.
Yeah, he's in Star Wars MCU. He's in Old Bollocks, isn't he?
I wonder what mine of all time is. I'm going to look while you're talking.
Yeah, I need to pick my main character, don't I? So for main character, again, this is a movie that
Yeah, the best lead.
you are.
Lead.
Yeah. So this is another movie that would have made my top 10 of 2023 if I thought it came out,
Yeah.
but I was thinking American, but it did come out in the UK in January last year, and that film is Babylon. So I'm taking
Oh,
another.
completely different person. I thought you were talking about Fablemans. Also,
No,
Sam Jackson's my number one as well.
yeah, he's in a lot.
Tom Cruise, number
So
two.
originally I was going to go Fablemans. I had Sammy Fableman, who was essentially just a young Steven Spielberg. For that reason, he's a young Steven Spielberg, but he's not the best thing about that movie. The parents are, whereas Margot Robbie as Nellie Leroy is unbelievable in Babylon. She's essentially like a young woman that wants to break into Hollywood. She's a fucking wild child. Like she's a party animal. She's all over the place, a real basket case. And she eventually makes it into Hollywood just on pure charisma and the fact that some woman. Have you seen Babylon? You should watch Babylon. It's fucking wild. It's so good. But yeah, essentially, some woman that's supposed to be in a movie drops out because she gets way too drunk, and they call Nellie Leroy in at the last minute to give her an opportunity, and she fucking kills it. And she uses her like sexuality to really like make a name for herself. Like, on screen, she's not worried about getting up in like people's grills and like flirting with the other actors and really giving it a go. And everyone takes notice, and she becomes a huge star. But it's right before sound comes into movies, so she becomes this huge silent movie star like in no time at all. And then once they bring sound in, it's like she's fucked. She can't quite adapt, and it shows like the way her career goes off the rails, and then she like gets into all these drugs and stuff. And I mean, it's Margot Robbie doing a Margot Robbie performance where she just plays a woman that is at the end of a rope who's just wild and can't be like controlled, and she fucking kills it every time, as she does in this. Like there was either her or Brad Pitt's character in this who also killed it, but I had to go with Margot Robbie because this is a role that I don't think anyone does quite as well as her. Like no one does this sort of character the way she does, and she kills it every time. And she's the highlight of Babylon for me. So yeah, I went with Margot Robbie as Nellie Leroy.
Cheating by getting Margot Robbie in somehow.
Yeah, well, it's a different film. It's a different character. It counts.
Cool. Your category.
Oh shit, yeah. If I got left. Most rewatchable visual effects.
Visual effects.
Overall, no, we just did overall casting. We've got most rewatchable, fist bump, visual effects, villain, and action scenes. We've got 5 left.
It's almost like I just said that.
I'm gonna go visual effects. I mean, it's not going to be the movie you probably want because I've not seen it, I imagine. I'm going to go, because I feel like I don't know if I can use that sort of film. I'm going to go Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, fair play. I've seen it.
Thieves, because that film really surprised me. It was way, way, way better than I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be trash, I can't lie. And I actually thought it was actually really good. And I think the visual effects, compared to some of the other blockbusters we've got throughout the year, are actually really, really good. And they really help the film stand out. And it's a shame it didn't make more money because on top of the incredible performances from like Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez and stuff, like it all looks really well done. And it's with a movie with that sort of scale and like the environment and all the different creatures that you come across, it would have been easy for it to look trash, but they do a really good job with it. And you can tell like it's not like any of these superhero movies we get now, which all feel rushed. Like I can't remember the last superhero movie where I thought that it's all good visual effects. It feels like so fucking rare now. Even Aquaman had some shoddy moments.
The owl bear and the witches and the stone dragon at the end. I really like the fat dragon when they're in that fucking cave as well. Like, that was good.
Yeah, I think it was all really good.
Oh, and that obviously the bit that's been played to pieces in memes and stuff, but the bit where they're using like a distraction spell and Chris Pine's face melts into his fucking body and glitches out. They're really fucking...
And then we've got a midget Bradley Cooper for some reason.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It really shocked me how much I enjoyed it. So I wanted to give that a shout out, mostly because the only other film I had in this category was an animated one, and I didn't know whether I could use
That
it.
don't count. That don't count.
So I didn't do it.
I really enjoyed Dungeons and Dragons. I said it. If they gave it half a chance, it could have been, and like marketed it a lot more. It could have been like the fancy equivalent of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, it is essentially Guardians of the Galaxy, but in a fantasy setting. Really, really good.
Yeah, and we're obviously well knowledgeable about Dungeons and Dragons because we played it twice.
Mm-hmm.
First time we ever spoke, I think, wasn't it?
I think it was, you know.
And it was in a situation like this over like Zoom. How time flies, eh?
And we probably behave as the same now as we did then.
Yeah, we've come full circle. 3 years on, we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons over Zoom again. You know.
I went with a film purely for the first 20-30 minutes of that film, and I went Indiana Jones 5 for the opening with young Indy. Lucasfilm has been doing de-aging, well, not just Lucasfilm, Disney in general have been doing de-aging really, really well over the past, God knows, like probably starting with Rogue One is really when they jumped straight in, and some's been really good, some's been really bad, like Luke Skywalker at the end of Mandalorian season 2, where his head's moving and his face moves a little bit afterwards. But the de-aging they did in Indiana Jones 5, Dial of Destiny, is, I'm going to say it, Cal, it's phenomenal. It's growing, like the moments, there's very, very minute moments where I go, oh, those eyes look a bit off. But for the majority of it, it looks like we're watching an Indiana Jones film from the 80s. It looks spot on. Smart that they filmed it in the dark, smart that they filmed it in with mid lighting and fire lighting. Just so believable for such a big action sequence, for such a big star that everybody knows what he looks like as well, and remembered what he looked like. It's up there with Hank Pym in the Ant-Man movies when they've de-aged him. It's up there with, that's how good it was. But this one I think is definitely the pinnacle, and like I say, probably once or twice I was like, oh no, I could tell there, but for the rest of it I was like, no, that is spot on. If you told me this was filmed back then and just being put out now is like a deleted scene that restored, I would have 100% believed it. So yeah, I mean the rest of the film is beautiful as well, lots of good set pieces and CGI in there, but the opening to that is phenomenal. So Disney, if you're listening, top job.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I rewatched The Irishman this morning, and that is well known for the de-aging it does to like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci, and that is like the gold standard. But I do think this Indiana Jones 5, the beginning of it, I don't think it's that far off. I thought they did an incredible job with Harrison Ford there. Like it does look like those early movies. Like it was almost sad when it ended and we were with this old man. I was like, oh fuck, I wish we got to watch more young Indy again. Like I miss those movies. But yeah, it was really good. I wasn't a big fan on the movie as a whole. I thought it was fine, but the ending I didn't really like. But there's no getting away from the fact that the CGI and visual effects used at the beginning were top notch for me.
Hey, at least the CGI and visual effects are better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Well, yeah. It's also a better movie than that.
It is, yeah. Well, I don't take a lot.
No,
I rewatched Kingdom of the Crystal Skull before I watched Indy 5, thinking, I bet I hated it at the time, just like everybody else did, and I was just bandwagoning, and I bet it's not that bad. And I watched it, I was like, oh no, it's fucking bad.
Yeah, and also like I don't want to pile on him because he did some good stuff, but Shia LaBeouf as like Indy's son is such a dodgy. What was that choice? Ryan Gosling was right there. What was he doing in 2008? Because he was famous. He'd obviously done The Notebook 4 years earlier, so he was around.
Yeah.
Get Ryan Gosling. That should have been the young Indiana. I bet they'd have brought him back now.
Oh yeah, he'd be taking over.
They would have killed him off. Spoiler, if anyone's not watched Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah, who cares? Nobody cared about Mutt anyway.
No, true. What we're going with next then?
Oh, was it me?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with best fist pump moment. And it's a moment I'd seen behind the scenes footage of like 50 times before the film came out. I'd seen it in trailers. I knew how it was made. One of the trailers was literally dedicated to the moment.
Shit.
the the film was full of loads of other stuff, like stuff involving a train and a car chase around. Is it Venice? I can't remember. It's some Italian country, I'm sure. But
It's Venice.
But the jump in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, you can't get around it. That is spectacular, and it makes it even better. A, that I watched it in IMAX. B, knowing that he actually, other than obviously the ground had changed, they changed the ground to make it look like rocks. The fact that he actually did the jump, did the parachute, did the fall, did everything, it makes it so much better. And you can't, it's like, fuck, I could watch that moment over, and I had about 100 times through trailers and, like I said, ads and behind the scenes stuff. And when it finally got down to watching that scene, I thought this is going to be the most boring part of the film. No, still like just fucking excited in my chest. The film's full of like a lot of other stuff. Like I said, the train scene near the end is fantastic. I'm not going to spoil that for anybody who's watched it, but it's basically a video game situation, and it just looks really good. You look distraught. You're zoned off and you look distraught. But yeah, the only thing in that movie that could top the jump as a fist pump moment was anytime Haley Atwell came on screen, and that's it for me. So I'd love to see what your fist pump moment is now.
See, I didn't have this as fist pump moment.
That's all right then. You're safe then. I imagine I've taken it away from somewhere else from you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good choice, to be fair, because like the Mission Impossible franchise, especially the later ones, they're kind of like built off the crux of you're going to see Tom Cruise do something ridiculous, and this was the one that was really highlighted before, and it's the fact that it's him. If it's CGI, it doesn't hit the same, but it's the fact that you know that it's the real deal, and it's incredible that the guy's like 60 doing that shit. So that is a great scene.
Stalling.
Yeah, you took it off the board. I did it for someone else. My fist pump moment is actually a film that I rewatched. I watched it in the cinema when it came out, then I rewatched it yesterday. And that is the Ben Affleck movie Air, about Nike and the way they came to the deal and signed Michael Jordan, and how the Air Jordan became a thing and just changed sportswear and athletes and the way they're endorsed forever. And it's an incredible movie set obviously in the 80s when Michael Jordan was first drafted into the NBA, and there was all these different brands fighting for his signature who wanted him to represent their clothing, shoes on the basketball court. And Nike at the time weren't really that successful in that field. They had like they were more focused on like running shoes, like, and they had like that's like athletics type of athletes, but no one that was really big in the pop culture. And the film's like not Ben Affleck, sorry, Matt Damon's character Sonny is really pushing for this basketball player because he just is adamant that he's going to be the next big thing. And many people didn't quite believe it at the time. Like Michael Jordan was dropped from his high school basketball team, and then he didn't even go first in the NBA. 2 players were picked in front of him, but this guy was convinced he's going to be a real deal, and he convinces his boss, who's played by Ben Affleck, to fund this offer, and they put this big pitch together. And Michael comes with his mum and dad. His mum's played by Viola Davis, who's just incredible in everything she does. And they give the pitch, and you're not really sure what's. I mean, you know eventually what happens, but at the time they're still unclear. And then towards the end of the film, he's told that they're going a different offer, and then Viola Davis rings Matt Damon's character, and he thinks she's doing the honourable thing and letting him know on the phone that they're going elsewhere. But she lets him know that if they meet her conditions, they'll sign with Nike. And after a minute discussing, Ben Affleck's like, fuck it, let's do it. And when Matt Damon hangs up the phone and he's like fucking fist bumping, and he asks Jason Bateman's character to go to the office, and he's like, we fucking got Michael Jordan. Everyone's so happy and excited. And like, knowing what I know, because I'm obviously a basketball fan anyway, and even like everyone knows Michael Jordan. Everyone knows how big he became. Everyone knows how big the Air Jordans became.
I've seen Space Jam.
Yeah, exactly. This is better than Space Jam. Just going to put that out there right now. Better than Space Jam. It's fucking awesome. And because you see all the characters so elated, and you know what it means for them, and you know what it means, what Michael did for everyone else, because one of the conditions was that he got a percentage of the sales of the shoe. Like traditionally, all athletes who signed these sorts of deals got a lump sum at the beginning, and that was that. But he fought, and his mum fought for him to get a percentage of every single piece of like clothing and apparel with his face on. He fought to get a percentage of it, and it ended up making him. And even now, he retired like 20 years ago, and he still makes over 200 million a year just from that deal that he signed in the 80s. So watching everyone be like so happy and stuff, it's fucking awesome. It's such a good like moment, and it's one of the most like wholesome moments of the year for me. So that was always my number one in that category.
It's a shame we couldn't put films I've watched for the first time in 2023.
Yeah,
because we'd both know what would be on there.
That would have been the first film I took off the board just because of that, because that is the most fist bump moment I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Like my arm's dead, the amount of fist bumping to be done watching that. I forgot left. Rewatchable.
Villain.
That's it. Oh no, an action scene. I'm gonna go villain.
That's fine.
This one's random. You probably don't have it, but
you're not gonna have mine. It's fine, unless you pull it out your ass.
I am going with this because I can't really think of many villains, and there's a certain film where the villain was that good it made the film watchable for me. So I'm going.
No. Before, is it MODOK from Quantum?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. I am going with Jason Momoa in Fast X.
Oh fuck! I forgot about him.
Because I thought that film was pretty fucking trash. And then I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Like, I thought he was electric every single time he was on screen. Like, his character was so sadistic, but also really funny, but also quite, like, camp. And he somehow, like, welded it all together so, like, effortlessly. And his charisma really carried that film for me. Like, Vin Diesel in those movies, it's really fucking tiresome now. And the last couple, like, 8 and 9, I thought were just utter shit.
You said you like modeling your life on Vin Diesel's behaviors.
Absolutely fucking not. I only found out about that last week that you said. And I haven't seen anything since. I don't know where you get your information, but I've not seen anything in news or on social media about Big Vinny D.
Mm-hmm. Well, because everybody on your social media don't think anything's wrong with it, so.
Fuck off. But yeah, I think Jason Moore is very hit and miss. Like, a lot of the time he seems to play just the same character, which is Arthur Curry.
Yeah, Surfer Boy kind of.
Yeah,
or
I really think
one of the two.
Huh?
He either plays a surfer kind of guy or Khal Drogo. It's one of the two.
Yeah, exactly. But I think he really shines in Fast X, and I think I'm really glad that they didn't kill him off. And the part 2, he's going to feature in that as well, because he really is like the highlight of that movie. And in terms of villain, I'm not going to say he's the best villain performance of the year, but he's the most standout in the fact that he elevates the film he's in compared to like some of the others who are in good films anyway. He's in a shite film that he makes watchable.
Yeah, the bit where he's like in the garden with the dead people and he's talking to them and having them like act and using their bodies as like a Weekend at Bernie's kind of thing.
Yeah, and just painting the nails.
Yeah. He makes it fun. Like
he makes the most depraved and twisted shit fun.
Yeah. I like whenever like franchise, like they get a villain and in the press and stuff, they'll go, oh yeah, we compare him to like the Joker, like he's the Joker, like he's like this. He genuinely is like the Joker of the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more from him.
Yeah, I'm sure Vin Diesel will be killed in like the first 10 minutes of that film, so it's fine.
Let's hope so. Right, what have you got for villain then?
Easy choice for me for this year. I knew you wouldn't get it because you're not a cultured person, but it's Godzilla from Godzilla -1. It's a giant fucking lizard, and in the Japanese ones, he's obviously not the hero. Especially in this one, he's definitely not the hero. He is a raging beast. He kills a lot of fucking people, destroys a lot of fucking shit. I mean, he's not exactly got character depth or anything like that because he is just a giant fucking lizard, but he's menacing, he's fucking creepy looking. He's got like, when he's chasing stuff down, it is anxiety inducing. When he does his atomic breath and stuff, it's so fucking sick, it's unreal. And it's just like, obviously he's not, like I say, he's not got depth, he's not got like a character arc, he is just destruction personified, and you can't really Like that is literally the biggest kind of thing of a villain is the destruction and mayhem they cause, and he causes a fucking lot of it. That, and he looks sick and is a giant fucking lizard, and I am on a giant Godzilla kick this year. So when it comes to 2024's first time watchers, it might just be 10 Godzilla movies. Who knows? But yeah,
Godzilla versus Charles Barkley's not in there. I'm not interested.
I mean, -1's a fantastic film anyway. It kind of reboots the very, very first Godzilla, and what have you. But Godzilla's portrayal in it is fantastic. So that was the only choice, and I knew you weren't going to get it. But if I wasn't going to go for Godzilla, I think I completely forgot about Jason Momoa, and I knew I wouldn't be able to do it because I was going to put it in Heartbreaking. But the High Evolutionary from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is just pure evil for the sake of being pure evil. He's a good old comic book villain. And he was really good too, so there's a shout at him, but he wouldn't have ever got it over Godzilla. Fuck that.
No. Yeah, I haven't seen it, so that's no big loss to me. I do want to watch that though, because I've heard really good things about that one.
She's really, really good.
I actually thought you'd go visual effects for that, but I've not seen it, so I don't know if they're good or not.
No, they are good, but like for all the hype that was around of how good it looked, it's how good it looks for this budget. So it looks good, but there's still like parts that look a bit janky. Best action scene, I know I'm safe with because you're again uncultured, and I've only just introduced you to the worlds that is John Wick.
He weren't making no fucking best lead, was he?
No, well, he might. Oh, I should have had him as best lead just to fuck with you. No, but I mean, we watched the first John Wick together this week, and even you couldn't deny how great the action scenes were. And I told you as we finished watching it, like each film they just try and top each other. Each film it gets bigger and it gets bolder and it gets fucking more badass. And John Wick 4 is like the epitome of everything that they've learned and built towards. Like John Wick 4's got like stuff set in a samurai in a hotel set in Japan. There's like loads of like the guards don't have guns. Of course they don't. They have samurai swords because that's so much fucking cooler. And so there's a giant fucking 45-minute brawl with samurai swords and like fucking armed guards and shit like that. Nunchucks and all that kind of stuff. And then you go to Paris and you've got like bounty hunters hunting him down on the Arc de Triomphe. So he's fighting people whilst cars are still going by him. He's chucking them into cars and shit. There's so many action scenes in John Wick 4, it's unreal. But the best one, and you won't know about it, but you need to watch it, even if you just watch the clip on YouTube, is in a abandoned building, and there's a group of mercenaries trying to take him out, and the camera goes from behind his back, and then it moves up, and it starts looking down, and it's like, have you ever played Hotline Miami or Hong Kong Massacre or anything like the old GTAs where it's top down? Like he's going from room to room and it's all above. So you see in the rooms from the above shot, but it's not, I can't know how to describe it. It's not just the one room. You can see all of the rooms. You can see the top of the walls and stuff. And it's just going around. So you can see the people coming from every angle. You see how John Wick attacks him. And it's just fucking phenomenal. I can't explain just how great it is. It's one of those where they've clearly looked at either Hotline Miami or Hong Kong Massacre, one of those kind of games, and gone, we can fucking put this in a film. And he's using guns, he's using fist fighting, he's using shotgun with incendiary, like fucking flame bullets, essentially, setting people on fire. You got people falling downstairs, you got fucking people busting through walls. I think it's the best action scene in any John Wick. And I've told you how I feel about John Wick 4 and what happens to my body with John Wick 4, and you see how much I love the first John Wick. And to say that's the best action scene is like fucking putting a fucking gold crown on a gold trophy. It's perfect. So you need to carry on watching them, Cal, and you need to get to that fucking scene.
Yeah, I will watch them because while I think Keanu Reeves isn't great, the actual film itself I quite enjoyed, and I love the action stuff in the first one, so I can only imagine if it gets better. I can imagine how good it gets.
You appreciate Keanu Reeves more knowing that he did pretty much all of his action, like all the gun stuff, all the fighting, he does himself.
Yeah, I know that, but what did I say to you the other day? Tom Cruise does it, and he's a fucking sick actor as well. He can have both.
Yeah, but Tom Cruise is also
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise would have been my fucking action scene if you hadn't taken it for fist bump moment.
Well,
And it's not even really action, but originally I was going to have the Venice scene when
Oh, the drama. Yeah,
Ferguson's character faced off with the villain, and it's just and you just while that's going on, you just keep getting clips of Tom Cruise sprinting through alleys. Fucking, I want a 30-minute video of Tom Cruise running. Fucking giving me.
He's definitely out there somewhere.
He's probably one of the best movie runners ever. He fucking loves it. So interestingly, mine's very, very different for best action scene, but it is also a film that took inspiration from other mediums in this scene, and it's Creed 3 in the final boxing match at the end where Adonis faces off with.
Do you know what? I've still not seen it, and I know you watched it because you love Jonathan Majors, but
yeah. Well, this came out before that, so you could say that.
I've still not
seen the second film I've had with a really questionable actor in it. So
yeah, I love all of the Rocky movies and the Creed movies, but I've still not seen Creed 3.
Yeah, I am such a big Rocky fan. My mum was obsessed with the Rocky movies, so I watched them so many times growing up. Rocky 4 is still to this day, I think, one of the best sports movies of all time. Apollo Creed is my ride or die. I fucking love that guy so much. And I really like the Creed movies. I think they did an incredible job. And with this one, and Sylvester Stallone not coming back, I was really skeptical going in, but I watched it anyway. And the final boxing match, they go completely down a different direction. It's not the same as the others. It really starts channeling because Michael B. Jordan directs it, and he really takes inspiration from anime and stuff in the final fight, and the way it's shot and the slow motion stuff. It is like watching Dragon Ball Z, and the way it's in this huge packed stadium, and when it pans out, no one's there, and it's and it's empty, and it's just those two in the ring, and they're doing all this sort of cool stuff, and the way the colors that splash up from this stuff.
Charging his fist for half an hour.
yeah, that was it. That was the issue. The fight started 20 minutes into the film, and didn't stop till the credits rolled an hour and a half later. But it was something different. And like I said, I watched every Rocky movie, so I appreciated trying something different, and I thought it worked. It's probably not something you could have done with Rocky, because he felt much more grounded, and he was your all-American hero, whereas Adonis feels much more to the modern times, and he's much more larger than life and stuff. So it felt you could get away with it here. And I'm glad that they tried it. And I don't know if they're even making any more Creed movies now. I don't know what the plan is going forward. But if this was the end, it was nice that it ended putting its own spin on the franchise and using Michael B. Jordan's own influences from outside of it.
Didn't this one come out just as the allegations were starting to surface? So it took a bit of a hit from it.
Did it? Is that how long it's been out?
It's either that or it's Quantumania that it took a hit. I know Quantumania.
I think Quantumania, because that came.
Pretty sure stuff started to come out at the same time as Creed.
Well, I think Creed came out in February, and then Quantumania came out in March, so they were back to back. Yeah, so it makes sense that it would be around the same time. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Well, it was a good action scene.
Yeah, I still need to watch it. It's on the list. I'll probably get around to it a bit sooner rather than later now. But actually, I might wait for things to die down.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody thinking I'm a supporter.
Especially when you sing his praises in comments. I've seen you.
Yes, too often.
Right, last category.
Rewatchable.
Yeah. This one's easy for me because it is literally the release that I watched the most this year. I only know what yours is because yours is exactly the same. So for me, the most rewatchable film, again, this is quite dodgy now, is Scream 6, which I fucking love. I really, really enjoyed Scream 6. I've already watched it more than I watched Scream 5. I think the decision to move to New York, I thought it was a stroke of genius. I loved the entire cast. And I remember watching it at the cinema. And then I went back to watch it literally days later with some friends. That's how much I enjoyed it. And then I showed it to my brother, so I watched it with him. And the Scream franchise in general, especially the first couple, are movies that I can just watch over and over and over. As a horror fan, there's nothing more rewatchable to me than a good slasher. And that is what I thought Scream 6 was. I thought the plot was really predictable, and I called it maybe 10 minutes into the film, and I was just spent the rest of the time praying I was wrong because I thought, it's too obvious, surely, and then I got it right. But I thought the cast was fantastic. I loved the dynamic that they used with the core four and the way those relationships were expanded upon, and Like Mason Gooding as Chad, I thought was great. Jenna Ortega is fantastic. Melissa Barrera's incredible. I'm not a big fan of the stuff with her seeing Billy, but outside of that, I think she's a great character. And I think everyone they added was fantastic. Kirby coming back, I fucking loved.
Yeah.
I didn't like that Sydney wasn't there, obviously, but what can you do? But the entire cast.
I'm sure Screen 7 will sort all the problems out and it'll be perfect.
I will watch Scream
No
7.
issues.
They're not doing Scream 7. They've bottled it now. Even the director's fucked off.
Yeah, everybody's fucked off. They need to, like at this point, I think, like sell the fucking franchise to someone else.
Give it to Warner Bros. Get Tom Cruise starring in a Scream film. That's what I want. Tom Cruise could just come in as like fucking
Ghostface would never stand a chance. He'd fucking run away from him.
That'd be sick. I bet he'd refuse to die and all. I feel like that guy's died like once on screen ever.
He goes to fucking Ghostface goes to fucking stab Tom Cruise and looks around and like, where's he fucking gone? He's hanging off the side of a fucking helicopter or something.
Yeah, Cruise is scale it building. He's like fucking shirtless for some reason. 62 years old.
He'd be Ghostface and actually fucking kill people for the realism.
Yeah, he would. I bet if he actually fought Ghostface, like actually stabbed me, like like he'd be like way too into it. But yeah, I've already said this. I mean, we did a Scream episode a few months ago, and Scream's my favorite horror franchise, and I love them all. And I was really happy with this one. So yeah, I've rewatched it a few times, and it doesn't get old yet. It might get old if I keep rewatching it, but it hasn't yet. So that's why it's the most rewatchable film this year for me, because it is literally the one I've rewatched the most.
Well, we sat down to watch a film yesterday, and when deciding what film we were going to watch, we ended up on Nope. It just doesn't hit for me.
No, that one wasn't great.
I don't think I like any of his movies. Like I didn't
really like Get Out.
I don't really like Get Out either. But I think but I watched it like well after everybody was like, it's the best fucking film. And I, no, not for me, it's not. Anyway, I digress. And I was like, what should we watch? And she was listing off films, and I was like, do you want to watch Ninja Turtles? And she's not watched it yet. I was like, no.
She's not watched it?
I will get her to watch it. The amount of times I've seen it, she's still not watched it.
That's surprising.
No, she wants to, but I think we went to the mood yesterday. Either way, fucking Ninja Turtles. Look at you. Look at it. It's just fucking beautiful. Mwah. Look at him. Look at the faces.
Bastards.
They're ugly bastards, and I love them. I love them. It's my favorite film of the year. I was going to say it's my favorite film in that franchise. I can't do that for the original 90s, but it's my second favorite film in that franchise. I love it so much. It's fucking hilarious. It's creative. It's beautiful to look at in its ugliness. It's so fucking, like we said, I don't know what else to say about it. I fucking spoke about it loads last week, but it's so charming and fast paced that you never really get a second to be bored by the movie. Every time I've watched it, I'm like, yeah, fucking just bring it on, give me more. I immediately want a sequel. Like I just want more, even if it's just more of the same. I just want more because the cast are all great. The fact that they're actually teenagers really works. The humor's brilliant. Jackie Chan's in it, which is always perfection to me. And Paul Rudd. It's like the perfect mixture of cast. Like I said, the style, it's so ugly, and that's what I love about it. The action, I really wanted to use it as best action scene, because it's got one scene where they're trying to hunt down somebody or something, and it's probably one of the best action scenes in animated movies for me as well. It's got everything that I love about the Ninja Turtles. Got everything I love about animated movies, especially this new wave we've had ever since like Spider-Verse. It's funny, it's charming. I just fucking love it. I can't get enough of it. And the fact that you've still not watched it. And
that's probably good for you. If I'd watched it, I might have taken it.
Yeah.
And I know how much you love it, so I would have taken it.
You would have done as well. I'm surprised you didn't take it just to fuck with me. Like, I've not watched it, but it's my most rewatchable. It's just brilliant, and I'm actually kind of worried for you to watch it because if you don't like it, it's going to make me look really shit. But
yeah, but this is like when you watched The Thing and didn't give it 5 stars.
Get over it. So when's Killers of the Flower Moon out? Is that Friday night?
Yeah.
I watched Killers of the Flower Moon. You watch Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, we'll see what we both think. I feel like my commitment's not as big as yours. You have to watch like a 3.5 hour film.
Yeah, but you could.
I watched Ninja Turtles twice.
Yeah. Watch the Ninja and then watch the 90s version.
I think I've seen that years and years ago. Corey Feldman one.
No, it's not Corey.
Corey Feldman's in. He does the voice for maybe two of them.
Oh yeah, he does the voices of the Turtles. Yeah. I love that movie. I could watch that movie anytime as well. That's one that I've seen multiple times. But yeah, it's the one that I've watched most this year. I'm itching to watch it again. I love it.
Well, there we go. We've got a list full. We'll quickly run through them then, because I already can't remember half of what you picked.
I didn't write them down.
You are?
I didn't write them down.
You didn't?
Did you?
No. Well, I've got my list here and I ticked off as I was going, but I haven't wrote the ones that I took that I didn't already have down.
Okay, we go.
But I reckon I'll be able to remember them. So I'll go first while you try to rack your brain. In Maine, I took Nellie Leroy, played by Margot Robbie in Babylon. In supporting, I took Barbara Simon, played by the fucking outrageous Rachel McAdams in Oh There God, It's Me, Margaret. In villain, I took Dante Reyes, played by Jason Momoa, which is one of the highlights in his career, I'm sure, being taken by me. Overall cast, I went with the Killers of the Flower Moon cast because I love Big Bobby De Niro, Leo, Jesse Plemons, Lily Gladstone, Brendan Fraser. I love them all. In action scene, I took the final fight in Creed 3, which is just a fantastic spin on the Rocky franchise and something they haven't done before. In song, I took Dog Days Are Over by Florence and the Machine from the end of Guardians 3 because it was the perfect way to end the franchise. In visual effects, I took Dungeons and Dragons, which was way better than I thought it would be and actually really impressed me. Fist bump moment, I took Nike signing Michael Jordan in Heartbreaking. I just took pretty much everything. I know, yeah, that's why I don't like saying it because Ellen said that to me the other day. So what you watching? I said, she went, you what? I said, she went, I went, that's not how it sounds. I'm sure it's not.
Like you're watching a film about something being gross.
I know, yeah, that's the perks of having this ridiculous accent. Heartbreaking, I picked The Whale, just essentially all of it, but especially the scene that was in all the trailers where Brendan Fraser's character breaks down. And in most rewatchable movie, I picked Scream 6 because it is the movie I've rewatched the most, quite simply.
I went Shamik Moore for lead in Spider-Verse as Miles Morales, Morgan Freeman in support in A Good Person. Overall cast, I fucked you over a bit of Oppenheimer. Took that away from you. I also took best song. But I got both Barbie and Oppenheimer this time. With I'm Just Ken. Best action scene, John Wick 4. Just thinking about it makes me wet. Visual effects, I got Indy 5 from the opening with young Indy. Best fist pump moment was the jump from Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. But fuck me. Heartbreak, The Flash, and
everything about it.
Everything about it, but specifically the fucking disgraceful use of dead actors. Villain, Godzilla, because I'm going to be finding a way to talk about Godzilla in every episode from now on. And obviously, my most rewatchable will be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Again, something I'll probably find a way to talk about as much as possible. I'm gonna possibly as much as possible. I'm gonna be insufferable.
Yeah, there's some good lists there. There's actually quite a few movies in both of our, like in 2023, that only one of us have seen. So it wasn't quite as difficult as some of the ones we've done in the past. Like I think there's like 3 or 4 in both our lists that the other person haven't even like watched, so we could get away with it. Like the rewatchable one at the end, you fucking kept that to the end because you knew it was safe.
Yeah, I knew I would be using that. Do you know what? Actually, one fight that I actually really liked, but never more than John Wick. But one fight that I really liked this year was in the Marvels when they first kind of switch. Have you seen the Marvels yet? Oh, okay. Well, the first, the premise, they kind of switch around and whatever. It's the first time they kind of do that, and they're switching around from like not being a part of a fight, being a part of a fight on a spaceship, and being a part of a fight in Miss Marvel's living room. It's really, really good. I really like the Marvels. It's I think one of the most underrated movies of the year, but other than Ninja Turtles. But I think people actually understand that that's good when they've watched it.
I fucked up.
What did you do?
I'm just rethinking like the action scene. I picked the wrong movie. I fucked up.
What did you pick?
Creed 3.
Yeah, what was you gonna pick?
Well, I've just come to me now, but the fact the killer with Michael Fassbender. I said this when we did the episode last time, and I said there's the scene where his character fights the big bodybuilder, and it's like really like hard hitting, and it feels real. That shit's all over Creed 3.
It's too late now. You put it.
I know, yeah. I don't know why it only just literally came to my head then. I was like, shit, I completely forgot about that film. That was one of my favorite films of the year, and I completely forgot about it.
There's a bit in John Wick 4 where he's fighting this massive fuck off. He's built like a brick shit house, ugly fucker, and he's like one of them where he punches him, you don't feel no, but it's in the middle of like this club, and nobody stops dancing. They're just dancing around him, and this fucking, for some reason, like a water feature like spraying down on people as well, and it's just fucking phenomenal. Just watch the John Wick movies.
I am one down. I've only got 3 left.
I know what we're doing the next 3 Mondays.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Do you see on Twitter the other day it was announced that Michael Mann said he's filming Heat 2 this year?
Oh, I don't know if I could have missed it considering you've retweeted it literally every fucking chance you've got.
Come on! I need the casting news now. I need it. There's rumours and I need it.
Do you think it's going to be Adam? I think it's going to be Adam Driver.
Yeah, it makes sense, I suppose. I won't mind him and Austin Butler.
See, I'm not as big on Austin Butler as you are.
No, but he's all right. I think
depends what accent he uses.
Yeah, I mean Elvis probably won't fit in. I don't know. The thing is that I hear all these names, but I don't know who's supposed to be playing who.
Isn't Adam Driver supposed to be playing De Niro?
He's much taller though, isn't he?
Yeah.
De Niro's I mean, oh wait. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know who's playing. I just keep hearing different rumors.
What kind of fan are you?
You are?
What kind of fan are you?
It's not concrete news. It's all rumors. That's why.
You know what's not a fucking rumor? A Mandalorian movie. Whew! I'm gonna be on day one wearing you.
You're not wearing me, yeah?
Not you.
Like a glove.
I'll be putting this helmet on. I might even commit by the full fucking outfit. Turn up, rock up, the Mandalorian, first day, first showing, just me. People, nobody wants to sit near me because I'm like a crazy person.
He likes to get Pedro Pascal back.
Yeah. Well, he retweeted the news or reshared it on his Instagram. So I think it's probably. I think, and we're really ending this episode on a tangent, but personally, I think the reason they're doing a movie rather than a TV show is because they can't really get him back for TV anymore because he's that fucking tied up with everything else. They've got to put the money down to get him back for a movie. To either fully tie off the character and have him come back fully, or because I suppose filming a movie is not as much of a big time commitment or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see.
On one last thing about Star Wars, how do you feel about like the way the Mandalorian's gone? Because I know a lot of people are a bit pissed off that it was essentially its own thing, and now it just keeps adding more Star Wars characters. Like it's not its own entity anymore. It's like kind of middle. I know some people are complaining. How do you feel?
Yeah, people complaining is what Star Wars is nowadays. It's you can't fucking put anything out, Star Wars or Marvel or any franchise without people fucking complaining. So I just
look at what they did to the poor Flash.
I like it. I don't need to fucking care what other people think about it, to be honest. Like, because people, like, I think especially Marvel just lately, DC obviously. I think the biggest one is Star Wars. Like, it's the negative people are the worst fucking human beings in the planet who call themselves fans. But the good ones are pretty decent. So I just kind of stick around, listen to their opinions rather than fucking get lost in all the anger and shit. I don't care. Give me Glip Glop and have him turn up at the last episode and whatever year and fucking I love it all. I don't know if you know. I like the Mandalorians. So
I've heard a rumor that you're a Star Wars fan, but I didn't know if it was true or not.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it.
Not at all. Bring fucking Cal in. That's what I say. Just for the name.
You.
Yeah. No, I meant Cal Kestis, but he's got the same name to bring in.
Yeah. I mean, see, I personally think they should do the Mandalorian movie so they can have Din and Grogu like in a movie, and then you can carry on the series with Katie Sackhoff's character, Bo-Katan, and have her be the Mandalorian. That because she's more willing to be able to do TV stuff rather than Pedro, who's a bit more tied up and packed up. So, well, I don't care. I like it. Book of Boba Fett's not great, but I still like Mandalorian. So, because of football,
yeah. Well, that's a Star Wars debate finished then. What a way to end.
Yeah, thank you for tuning into the Star Wars episode.
If you guys like what you watch/listen to, then please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel if you are watching on YouTube, or if you're on the podcast networks, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel.
You started off the energy with such a big intro, and now your outro's like, like.
Because I've talked to you for an hour and a half.
Get fucked.
So just gonna listen to Star Wars talk for 2 minutes. It's just my life.
You asked me a Star Wars question. I don't really fucking know what you want from me. Like,
yeah.
You're gonna get.
I actually don't mind Star Wars. I don't think. I thought I was a much bigger fan when there was 6 movies, and then when they came up with all this different stuff, I was like, have I really got the fucking bandwidth to play all these games, watch all these shows? I thought, fuck that. I got the bandwidth to do anything like that. But
I keep up with it all. It's part-time job at this point.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it then. Again, I tried to close it out again. We went back to Star Wars somehow. Somehow went back to Star Wars. It all keeps going back to Star Wars, and I don't know if that's your fault or what, but it does. Yeah. So yeah, we'll try again. Thanks for listening, guys. If you did enjoy watching the video, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'm keeping the energy really fucking high here. Let's go. If you are listening on one of the podcast networks, then feel free to subscribe to the channel and give us a 5-star review. Is that enough energy for you? Or?
I mean, it is until you guys are enough energy for it.
And also, our details underneath if you want to follow us anywhere. Nathan's watched more films than me on Letterboxd right now, so that's a disaster. I need to pick that up. But I haven't watched many recently at all. We don't know what we're doing next week, do we?
Not a fucking clue, because we don't plan as far ahead as we'd like to.
No, that's true.
It's fine. So, I really want, like, at some point this year, I really want to give you 2 anime and us do 2 very popular anime, just because I know you're not an anime guy.
That's fine. You'd have to come up with the categories, though. Do it all.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's on the cards then.
I can do that.
Cool. We'll do that at some point. But for now, thanks for watching / listening, guys. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we shall be back very, very soon. Peace out.
1 week specifically.
Yeah, that's true.